Hey everybody, and welcome back to Super Comic Fun Time. I am in lovely downtown Custer, South Dakota. Been on vacation since Friday. Today is July 5th, the day after Independence Day. Having a lot of fun. I've had very little downtime to read or anything because we're going to state parks every day, meeting interesting people. It's been a really fun vacation. I haven't had a chance to break out my metal detector yet and start and play with that. So I don't know if I'll get a chance. This trip will be leaving in Monday or Tuesday. I think Monday we're leaving, and yeah, it's just been a great time seeing the monuments and stuff. The books I brought with me are the Cosmic Odyssey books from Jim Starlin, and the only one I've had a chance to read is this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the tape and just switch the perspective of my camera. So this is a pack I got from Half Price Books a couple of months ago. I probably did a video on it when I got it. This is the first time I've opened them up. And as I said before, the only one I've read so far is the first issue. And it's pretty good. And when I was getting ready for this video, I noticed that there had been another price on these. So this is these books were originally sold from River City C&C. I don't know what they were going for then, but I paid $10 for them when I bought them at Half Price Books. So I'm going to flip around now and bring this one to my lap. So Cosmic Odyssey, and I'm gonna make a cut right here. Okay, so I have the camera up kind of high. I can't remember what I did last year in Viroqua when I did John Byrne's Man of Steel series. But anyways, this is the cover art, and it is more stylized than many books I've read. Darkseid looks, very obese. He almost looks like not quite like an olive with some toothpicks sticking out of him. But this book has a lot of great stuff. So we see the credits on here: Starlin, Mignola, Garzon, and Olive. And so yeah, Mike Mignola was the penciler. I see I got Shadow. Jim Starlin wrote it. Carlos Garzon inked it. Steve Olive was the color artist, and John Workman was the letterer. So this book, it's got some style. This is from 1988. And it's got some stylizations that remind me of The Dark Knight Returns. You can see like some of this, but then the boom tube comes across. It's very standard iconography for the boom tube, going back to when Jack Kirby first invented it. So I can see I'm in a bit sunny and a bit shady. Let me just pause and see if I can figure out better lighting. Okay, and so I'm back. It's going to be all sun or part sun and shade, so here we go. That's a better picture. So what happens is, for whatever reason, Darkseid is invading Gotham City. Light Ray and Superman show up. Oh, there we go. And yeah, the art style is more cartoony for this one, but still, this was a very good story. The weird thing here is Superman talks about, I hope Batman doesn't mind we're impinging on his territory, and Light Ray is like, isn't he just like a normal human? And Superman goes, I would have contacted him if I knew how. Besides, this task appears to be more than a normal human can handle. And Superman says, who told you Batman was a normal human? And then they kind of discuss that, the intelligence reports I've read. It says, never mind, I'll introduce you someday. But they don't bother to tell Batman that someone has invaded his city. And one of Darkseid's soldiers is left behind, and he causes some trouble. And then the book kind of shifts after that. So you think this part is going to be the Darkseid's army being shot back, but it's Metatron, and Darkseid is waiting for him. Metatron is in a state of catatonia because he's been investigating the anti-life equation, which, you know, spoiler on the back, it says, this is actually in the book, I am Metatron, I ride the astral winds in my Mobius chair seeking knowledge. If anything goes wrong, let no one but me fall victim to this desire. So I really like this back cover, and it really gives you a good summary of this. And then like here you've got the, you know, again, I've read a lot of New Gods, but I don't know that I'm a New God expert. And so you have these characters here who are like henchmen, and they reminded me of the Venture Brothers, where you have the henches who are all numbers. I don't know if Jim Starlin is playing on that theme here, but you have 1, 5, 10, and 3, and they all gather the information from Metatron's chair and take him back to Darkseid's home, Apocalypse. And then, you know, we go back to Gotham, where Batman is having to deal with the parademon that's left behind, and it's very graphic, you know, almost disgusting. The alien is eating people, and Batman decides, like, you know, this thing is too big, but then he can't, you know, he thinks of the officer and the people he's seen, so he acts, and he fights in spite of himself. Okay, I'm gonna just pause for a second. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get street noises on this one, so there, he's still going. Okay, so yeah, the parademon dies apparently and says Darkseid, and so that's how Batman knows what's going on. He goes and gets help. The demon is gone, and so is the officers. One of the victims of the demon is a patrolman, and his body is gone too. Then suddenly we shift again to the White House, where you have Lonar, who I'm not very familiar with from my limited knowledge of the New Gods. I feel like I've read a lot of New Gods, but you know, it's just so in depth. So anyways, he wants a bunch of ambassadors, and he gets the superheroes. We get Martian Manhunter, we get Starfire, Batman, Superman, of course, John Stewart, who's not with the Green Lanterns at this point, and Mr. Blood, who's like, you know, the host to Etrigan the Demon. And like they all, you know, except for the last guy, we go to New Genesis, and you got this beautiful spread. And then there's a really funny scene coming up where Superman sees Darkseid. He goes to attack, and then look at that, he gets booted all the way across. Very comedic. I enjoyed that scene a lot. And then, oh, I didn't even notice this when I read it before. Look at the grin on Darkseid's face, because Highfather is saying, you know, Darkseid is working with us because there's a terrible menace. And then this book reminds me a bit of the Inkle for a little while. We get like this backstory on the civilization that existed before the New Gods, and they were very human-like, but they were very godlike, and they thought they were the height of everything, and they ran into these aliens that were non-humanoid, and they decided they had to be destroyed, so they invent the anti-life equation, or so they think, and then when they fire the weapon, they release this black goo that just starts destroying everything. It destroys their planet, and then it just starts expanding out across the universe. And this reminded me a lot of the first Inkle story, where I don't remember what it was called, but I just remember there was this black goo that was spreading out, and everybody had to take a nap in order to end it. So this thing keeps expanding, and then mysteriously it can't go any further, and it collapses. And then 2 planets and a sun form from it, and that's the New Genesis and Apocalypse and the New Gods. So, I don't know. I just really enjoyed the scenes on New Genesis. It'd be a nice place to visit, I think. And so Darkseid, I like Darkseid here better than when you see him apart. He just is so stone, and then here you've got him with his hands behind his back, classic pose for certain military leaders through history. Look at that. I just really love this page. And what they do is, one of the reasons they went at Martian Manhunter is because Metron in his catatonia is catatonic. So, but as soon as Martian Manhunter gets close, Metron's mind reaches out and tells him everything, and it says, you know, I went there and it turns out that the anti-life equation is this actual being, and I decided to get the hell out of there. But as I ran, like 4 essences came out. And look at, oh, I like this too, is because Metron kind of realizes his mistake, and I just kind of like this kind of static view as we get, you know, his expression doesn't change, we just get closer to it as he realizes the doom that he's probably released on the world. And there go the 4 essences, and what it turns out is the anti-life equation can't exist in our world because it's antimatter, like the anti-monitor, but he can somehow get in if he collapses the universe, and it sends these essences to 4 key points in the galaxy. So you have it going to Earth, Alpha Centauri, you know, it's a sun and a planet, Sol, Earth, Alpha Centauri, and Sran, and Delius Minor is, what is it, Thangar, and then Paragon is the Xanchi. And so if these essences can cause trouble there, then the whole universe or the whole galaxy will collapse, and the anti-life equation will be able to somehow come in and not be antimatter anymore. Something like that. And then, like, you got this emotional scene. This didn't work as well for me because it's like, you know, he says, knock out any 2 of them and the Milky Way will collapse on itself. And then, like, you know, look at these expressions. So this part didn't quite work. Some parts work better, but like Superman, just like, you know, that expression there, it's like everybody is shocked. And you know, I kind of, they're superheroes. I kind of think they'd be, okay, well, we got to do this again. But no, this is, you know, and I'm probably just being nitpicky there. That's probably my only nitpick with this, because otherwise it was an excellent story. I couldn't put it down. I was really tired the night I was reading it. And so, yeah, this is a great scene where the superheroes go off. Like, they decide to pair off, which is what you do. It's a writing technique when you got too many characters. You try to pair them off, and so then you just have to write for 2 characters instead of having to, like, give 8 characters or however many are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, lines of dialogue. So they all go to different, like Superman and Orion go to Thangar or Thanagar. Light Ray and Starfire go to Ran. Xanchi gets the Martian Manhunter and John Stewart. And then for whatever reason, I guess maybe we'll find out why Darkseid attacked Gotham, and because Batman and I forget who that guy was. Anyways, they go to Gotham. And then I think he's talking to, what's her name? Jeez. I knew when I was reading it, he's talking to Oracle, but we don't really know. He's like saying, there's a man on this planet of New Genesis named Darkseid. I don't trust him. I'd like to keep an eye on him. Can you handle it? Great. Be talking to you. And he, whoever that guy is, just goes, who is that? And he goes, a friend. So I feel bad I don't remember that guy's name. And then this is where we get the reveal that Etrigan and Dr. Blood have to merge again. So, and that's where the story ends. It was a great story. Enjoyed this book. I can't wait until I have time to read the rest of them. I don't know if it'll be on this vacation, but I'm going to sign off here. And Super Comic Fun Time out.